Morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at the Frazier History Museum. My name is Andy Trinan. I am the president and CEO here at the Frazier. And on behalf of our board of directors and our outstanding staff, I want to welcome you here to our Cool Kentucky exhibit. We are where the world meets Kentucky, and this is Cool Kentucky. And every day we introduce national and international visitors to what's really cool about this state, what's special about this state. And when people walk through the door, they see the Corvette. They learn that the Corvette is made in one place in the entire world, and then the next stop is the American Pearl. We tell people this story each and every day. It is one of the great Where the World Meets Kentucky stories, and we are thrilled to be here today with Tori and Mac and all of you. So thank you for being here. Today's not random. Today is a special day. We chose this day for this announcement for a specific reason. It was 25 years ago today that Tori became the first woman and the first American to ever row across the Atlantic Ocean. It took 81 days, 3,300 miles. It started at the Canary Islands, and the boat has been on loan here to the Frazier ever since 2020 when we built this Cool Kentucky exhibit. Strategically, during COVID, when the museum was closed, we thought, hey, we'll take this event space and turn it into a really introduction to the state for people from around the world. Tori, as you know, came ashore in Guadalupe, and we're going to get to her triumph in just a minute. But as with any journey, there are sometimes ups and downs, and sometimes there are challenges. And as many of you know, there was a first attempt at the row across the Atlantic, and Hurricane Danielle had some other ideas. So some of you have probably seen this video, some of you have not, but we're going to roll that just for your benefit right now.
September 5th, 6:30 a.m. Definitely something big in my life. My dress suit on, and my radio attached to me, life vest on. And I went through this. And they took it off. What are you looking at?
Really incredible, powerful stuff. As we all see evidence, she survived that, thank goodness. And she is here with us today. She admittedly felt defeated after that, and you can certainly understand why. Around the same time, she was the first employee of the Muhammad Ali Center right down the street. And Muhammad Ali was alive at the time and very much a part of the everyday operations there. And this is part of the story that we tell to our visitors. Muhammad Ali came up to Tori one day and he said, "Tori, do you want to be known as the first woman to almost row across the Atlantic Ocean?" And you all know Tori, and her answer was obviously no. So they went to work on rebuilding that boat and getting it back out there. And that is why that boat is sitting here today. And that is why Tori is sitting here today. And that's why all of us are sitting here today. So for the next leg of the journey, I want to turn it over to our Vice President of Mission, my good friend Rachel Platt.
Lucky me, what a great assignment I had when I worked in TV back in the day. I had been following Tori as a reporter. Most stations here in Louisville, all of them were. This was a big deal to go to Guadalupe and to be able to report on this story. I want you to take a look back at this historic moment 25 years ago.
Friday, December 3rd, the day Tori Murden would make history. Her friends on board this boat heading out 2 miles off the coast of Guadalupe to see her for the first time on this side of the ocean. Tori Murden's date with history was here, and she was ready. And then a tradition that comes with the completion of any transatlantic voyage. The head of the Ocean Rowing Society plunging naked into the water. Like this very man when the first man made his way across the Atlantic 30 years ago. But the voyage truly wouldn't end until Tori stepped on land. 82 days at sea, rowing about 3,000 miles and then a few more, to land at a point where supporters and the media had gathered.
Although I regretted the last 24 hours of rowing all the extra miles to get here, I'm glad I put in the time.
Then time for reunions, this special one with her boyfriend, McClure. And in a roundabout way, thanks to Mac, Tori says she may be ready to write a book about all her adventures.
Folks would say, when are you going to write a book? And I would say, after I've had a mad, passionate affair. And I just hadn't had one, so I had to wait.
Our special relationship has had just nothing but wonderful growth because of the journey together. Because to survive things that are very frightening in life, build stronger and stronger bonds.
And what about that mad, passionate affair?
Well, you know, Tori has a special way for words, you know, what we call that literary parlance.
Forget what's next for right now. It is time for Tori to savor the moment. December 3rd, 1999, Tori Murden's Date with History.
You are now married, as we all know, and have been for 24 years. Married just a few weeks after you came ashore. January 7th will mark your 25th anniversary. Congratulations on that. And oh yeah, she did write that book, by the way, A Pearl in the Storm. We sell it in our museum store. And let me set the record straight, because I couldn't remember if I called you, you called me about getting the pearl here. So Tori set me straight on that. I called Tori in 2020, not long after I came to the Frazier, asking her about the American Pearl and where it was and if she would ever consider putting it on display in cool Kentucky. The pushy reporter, no offense to reporters, was still alive and well in me. Yes, I called you. The answer was yes, and lucky us. We've had it here ever since. And it doesn't get any cooler than Tori and the American Pearl in cool Kentucky. And true to form, we've got great pictures that I want to show you. To no one's surprise, Tori is the one, with a few folks helping her, brought the American Pearl here herself, helped maneuver it through our doors. I think we've got that next picture, Simon, thank you. I think we had about half an inch to spare on each side you're going to see in the next photo. She had our complete trust. She had built the boat after all and rowed it across the Atlantic. Who else are you going to trust to get the boat inside the doors, right? Tight fit, to say the least. As Andy said, the American Pearl is iconic. It represents storms, it represents overcoming, it represents doubt, but it also represents triumph. Even though our museum guests haven't rowed across the Atlantic, there is something in Tori's story, as all of our tour guides can tell you here, that resonates with everybody when they see the Pearl. Lucky us to have the American Pearl here on loan, and lucky us to have Tori Murden McClure and her husband Mac with us today for this important announcement, and we are so excited and so indebted.
First, I want to recognize the gentlemen who helped me get that boat through the door are here. And they were part of Spalding University. They're still part of Spalding University. I retired from Spalding in July, well, first end of June. And so I just want to recognize them, particularly Don Williamson, who figured out the exact angle we needed to get it through the door. And he welded. I don't weld. I did the wooden platforms and I did the wheels, but I don't weld. So the reason the boat is at the angle it is at right now is because Don figured out that's what we needed to get it through the door. And once we put it in place, like, oh, let's not put it back flat. Let's leave it the way it is, because it would look like that all the time on the ocean. And while I have words that are written, the gist of it is, and I think Hemingway said something along the lines of, the world breaks everyone, and afterwards some are strong at the broken places. And the boat was broken, and we rebuilt it with Kevlar. And certainly the story broke me, but when I think about the American Pearl and all the folks who've touched it, watching the videos, seeing folks like Barry Bingham on the boat, are really touching, because they're folks who are no longer here, but made a huge impact on my life. And like many of us, I have been broken, but so many wonderful things have happened as I came back from that brokenness. So sorry for the getting choked up. But one of the things I love about the American Pearl is the story continues to echo like ripples moving out from a pond. And it's so much bigger than I am. And it has touched so many lives, and other people continue to tell the story and adopt parts of it for themselves. And it's a universal theme of brokenness and healing and moving on. And for me, I say the story is about love. And of course, I fell in love with Mac McClure. and the boat is what brought us together. Mac called, and I saw Mac. So there was a groundbreaking for the Louisville Slugger baseball field, and I worked for city government. The mayor said, wanted a big turnout, so I showed up. And this guy walks up and he says, "Hi, I'm Mac McClure." And I was like, I know who you are. Everyone in Louisville knows who you are. And they sang the Star Spangled Banner, and that reminded me of a moment on the American Pearl with this flag. And I started to cry, and Mac put his arm around me, and I'm like, whoa, nobody touches me. Not now, not ever. I wanted to punch him, but you can't hit a man during the Star Spangled Banner. And so that's our song. Anytime the Star Spangled Banner plays, it's our song. But he said, "Hey, when they find your boat, call me and I'll help you rebuild it." And I thought, they're not going to find the boat, and even if they do. So they found the boat, was put in the newspaper that they found the boat. Matt called, and I pretty much hung up on him not knowing who he was. And then I realized afterwards it was Mac, and so I sorted that out. We've been together ever since. And so it is with great pride that today, on the 25th anniversary of my row across the ocean, I want to announce that Mac McClure and I are donating the American Pearl to the Frazier History Museum, which seems like the right time for it. It was on loan, and it is now theirs. And there's a bit of other equipment that I'm supposed to walk you through now, of other parts and pieces that came from attics and basements. There's one thing that's just still on loan, and that's the turquoise jacket from the South Pole in a case over there. Because I searched the house over and over looking for that jacket, and I came here, I was like, oh, there's that jacket. This is the computer that I had aboard the American Pearl. It has, I'm sure, dramatically less power than most cell phones today. My Sony digital camera, which got wet on the first journey, it wasn't insured for salt water. A Sony Discman on the first journey. On the first journey, I had a Walkman, cassette tapes. Didn't have CDs on the first journey. And then my repair kit. Very favorite stainless steel clips. Craftsman stubby wrenches. Thank you very much, Craftsman. And WD-40. My abandoned ship bag. A food brick, if I had to abandon ship and needed to eat for a couple of months. I don't know what that's made of, and I'm glad I didn't have to find out. My breakfast most mornings was granola, and my favorite meal was long grain wild rice mushroom pilaf by Mountain House. My least favorite meal was 3-bean chili. Even in the middle of the ocean by yourself, you don't want to be eating 3-bean chili. All these things are now gifts to the Frazier, except for that turquoise jacket.
Tori, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of our board and our staff, thank you very much for this incredible gift to the Frazier History Museum. This ensures that your story will continue to be told, because that doesn't fit downstairs in collections. It stays out, it stays on view, and we'll continue to tell this story every day to everyone who visits the Frazier History Museum. What do you say we make it official? All right. Tori's going to sign the gift paperwork now to make this an official part of our collection. Thanks so much for coming. What a special day for the Frazier History Museum.